Good morning, everybody. My name is Dana, and 3 years ago I posted a video of me moving my 1984 Fiero around with my 95 Civic. Since then, I've removed the engine. I've had it rebuilt. Took a while to get it back, and now I'm at the crossroads of putting it back together, absolutely forgetting 100% where anything goes. Now with the 84 Fiero, I've found nothing goes together like it should. You can't find any information because it's all the V6 crowd. So it's really difficult for me. And I left it alone too long that, the old brain just goes, nah. So, in that time, I built the Fiero shack. This is temporary, built of scrap. I have a few extra parts, body parts, and it is what it is. I used pallets and built the floor. Have a little bit of storage. But the one thing I didn't do, knucklehead, was take some of my scrap that was meant for this side on the outside, double layer, was to solid the floor out. So one day when I get the car out of here, I'm going to lift this up and pick up all the bolts and everything that I can't pick up with a magnet. So here we have our rebuilt engine. I have screws. It took me a while to figure out where the canister went, because I did look at some other 84s and they were here or here, and the problem was they didn't have the screws. I have to fix the tab here so this doesn't float away. My wiring, I'm going to have to undo everything to route it, and see how that's going to work. Where did it go? It's here somewhere. I can't find the routing for my vacuum, so it's sitting here somewhere. Oh, here it is. So it's sitting here. I'm not sure how it coincides with the vacuum, if it's like this or in between, or if these are too close or too far apart. I don't know. I have the extra lift there, or I have it there. I have the extra lift there, so I can get this thing to turn over. I haven't tried to hook up the I have the fuel pump disconnected because I'm trying to prime the engine. So here I have a problem again of I made little tool that goes into an old distributor, tighten it down to spin the oil pump. Well, it seems to miss or skip, so it's not sitting in there correctly, I guess. And so I had the fuel pump disconnected just so I could turn it over, and it doesn't seem like the battery has enough oomph to get enough oil up in here. So one of the things I might do is I'm just going to pour some oil down the lifters, over the lifters, hope they run onto the camshaft. So if I do, when I do the start, it won't be dry, completely 100% dry. Other than that, I don't know. So the story on this is I picked this up 12 years ago. And what happened is I had a 89 Ram Charger, two-wheel drive, and I was selling it. And a guy came up to me, and this is a big, huge lesson learned, especially about a car you know nothing about. So the guy comes up and says, listen, I'll trade you a Fiero for your Ram Charger. I'm like, well, I've always wanted a Fiero. So, sure, I can't get rid of my Ram Charger. One, because it's a two-wheel drive. In Alberta, I'm from Alberta, and everybody wants four-wheel drive. I personally don't really believe that you need them all the time. I don't go off-roading. Good winter tires in the winter. And what really ticks me off about this deal was, honestly, my Ram Charger was getting almost 900 kilometers a tank. And it wasn't until after I made this deal with the Fiero that I found all the body parts I needed to replace. So anyway, all the guy said was all it needs is a clutch. So that was 12 years ago. So I've replaced, within the first month, I replaced all the shocks. I replaced the struts. These, believe it or not, are brand new freaking tires from 2005, and they're all weather checked. And they basically don't hold air anymore, and I wouldn't drive on them. So now we sit here. So he said it needed a clutch. So it needed brakes, it needed struts. The engine, when I finally got it running, was running on 3 cylinders. So I had it replaced. Opened up the trunk. Now, I'm not a fabricator, but all this work I did to it was done prior to finding some other channels that showed you how to do this. But it's on and together and strong, and good luck with a sledgehammer to bust it loose. So this is my horrific work fixing the humps. This is one way of finding out if you're going to buy a Fiero. One thing you can do is you have to ask if you can remove the carpet in the back. Because if you remove the carpet in the back, it's going to be telltale. And the number one telltale are the humps. If the humps are all rotted out, you're going to look around. I was really fortunate. There's a couple of things on the frame that were had some holes, but the frame overall is strong. So I went with 14 gauge steel and made patches. And they've been sitting here for 3 years now. No rust. A couple other things I have to do. But here's something funny about the rust issue. The old seam sealer seems to let the rust in, like it wears out or water gets in there, because almost every spot that had seam sealer was the rusty part. So here we have this side of the engine, and then I can't remember for the life of me what these are for. These holes, or these attachment points. I know one will be like, where are we? Here, here, and here. I know there's a plate that goes in here, a protective plate. Once the exhaust is on, it'll go on. So I've put engine got rebuilt. It has new pistons, molly rings, coated bearings. The camshaft that came out of this engine was flat spotted from pretty much just sitting, I guess. I'm going to assume that. So I had a parts car that I took the engine apart because it blew up on the guy, and I used the camshaft out of that. Was way better. That was an 85. So 184 I was looking at has some wires coming this way up to the battery, right? Some others, the two harnesses come around underneath, and as you can see here, I've got some wiring coming through here and there. And honest, I cannot remember how this thing was configured, and every other 84, even an 85, it's configured completely different, because this isn't the exact, I haven't been able to find the exact same car with the exact same accessories, like the cruise control. That everything changes where things go. So I managed to save this the best I could. Now that I once I saw and learned a little bit more on the fabrication, I was going to cut all this hump out and redo it, and I thought, you know what? No. It's not going anywhere. So now I had a problem with the steering. So I had to change the cylinder, lock cylinder, and now I got this. Okay, another what the F moment. And then, because I'm on the highway probably 80% of the time, and I can't find any real videos or information on the 5-speed swap. So I have the Rodney Dickman clutch cylinder, or clutch slave. I have the Rodney Dickman clutch master. I found I can't get this thing into gear unless I spin the wheels, but it just might be because it's just sitting. And I have to wire in a backup light, which I'm not sure how to do that unless I can go from steal the switch off the 4-speed shifter and wire it replace it, however, wire it to that for the reverse. I don't know. Can't find any information on that properly. I have the trunk button, which yesterday I took apart. I took off. Where did it go? Oh, whatever. So I have the trunk button. Trunk button. Here it is. Okay. So I'm like, oh, great. So I go to my old, the deck lid that came with it. There's no trunk switch. So I have one with the hump off an 85 or 86 that has the trunk switch. So now I'm looking for the wire because it's in the car. There should be a wire in here for the trunk switch. And of course I can't find it unless I undo everything, which I'm going to do. I'm going to undo everything I found because the other problem I have is my coil. I cannot find. This is the coil, and I cannot find where to attach it. So I pulled out another one. Same deal. Where does it get attached? I'm sure one of these holes, maybe this one, I'm sure it'll be this one, will be for the tack filter. Or the radio. I think this is the tack filter here. But even the book says nothing. It has 2 pages for 4-cylinder, 10 pages for V6. So it's very, very, very frustrating. I also don't have a light in here. I discovered I don't have the light. There's no wiring in here for a light. And from all the Fieros I found with lights, the wiring comes through here, comes out there. I also have, where is it? These. I have no idea what they're for. They were like this when I got the car, but this thing also had an alarm on it. If I remember correctly, it has an arm on it, or alarm. It had an alarm, like a speaker thingy on it. So it might have been off of that, because there's no wiring on it. I just kind of ripped it out. And that could be the wiring for it, or it's for something else. Maybe this had a hitch. I don't know. So we'll keep going with what I've done. So the cradle got disassembled, got sandblasted, got painted, and primed. The primer I used on it is Zynga. Zynga is a galvanized primer, and you can paint over it. I buy I'll call it the civilian use because it's expensive. So the spray can is $30. 2 gallons is 300, or over 300 now, I'm sure. But so all the suspension got all new bushings. It all got sandblasted, painted. The seats, I got some Mr. Mike kit. I did the seats, which I should have waited because there's some other things I want to do in the car that require the seats. And I replaced all the hoses. So here's one thing. These hoses, let's see if I can find some light. These hoses look really good here that I found. By the way, I replaced every hose. But when you go down underneath and look at them, they're all rotten. So be aware when you look at this and go, oh, that looks really nice. To go underneath and make sure that it's good. But I knew about the age of the car, the trouble I've had so far, and what I've had to do. So Rock Auto was my friend, and I bought all new hoses for this. It all fit. You know, you have to cut to fit some. Um, all the front ones, all the rear ones, everything got replaced. One thing we found is for painting, I just bought some cheap Champions spark plugs and discovered that that's why this is on here, because I was trying to build the pressure up to get the oil flowing. I was missing a spark plug. Looked all over the yard, looked in the garage, because this is connected to a garage, and on the floor and under the boards here and everything. Nope, couldn't find the spark plug. So another what the hell moment. So I went and I bought some NGKs. So, and this is where we're at the moment. So hopefully we'll have another vid up here soon. The best I can do for now. But this Fiero is going to be dedicated as a tribute car, because through adversity you have success and you just keep fighting. So we'll have lots more content, and I'm trying to figure out how to put history through a car, and the ideas should be fairly straightforward, but they're not. But we'll get her done. So thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, press the like button, and thank you for watching.